Most men think marriage is a reward, a milestone for finding love, stability, purpose. But what if it's a slow trade of sovereignty for social approval? What if the modern marriage isn't a partnership, but a contract built on quiet extraction? Let's look beyond the romantic veil and into the reality most men live but are too ashamed to speak aloud. The disappearing man. After marriage, a man's world narrows. His friends fade. His hobbies are selfish. His time becomes family time. His income? No longer his, it's pooled, controlled, often managed by his wife. This isn't dysfunction. It's design. The fewer external options a man has, the more of himself he pours into the relationship. That's the psychology. And ironically, men participate willingly. Why? Because they want to be good husbands, good fathers, responsible providers. But noble intentions can become chains. Chains that feel too shameful to question. Chains men help tighten, thinking it's love. The language of loss. Look at the language. Ball and chain. Taking the plunge. Even casual phrases betray the truth. Marriage often feels like the end of freedom, not the start of a partnership. We don't just sacrifice for love, we sacrifice identity. And in most homes, the silent rule is this. If the wife's not happy, no one's happy. That's not partnership. That's emotional servitude. From lover to utility. Early in relationships, men are pursued, appreciated, desired. After marriage, that changes. Affection becomes conditional. Sex becomes performance-based. Your value becomes transactional. Are you useful? Are you producing? Are you solving? The shift is subtle but undeniable. The man who once felt chosen now feels owned. This isn't because women are evil. It's evolutionary. Women are biologically wired to seek security, commitment, and resource allocation. Marriage enables this better than anything else. But modern men? They weren't taught this. The system is rigged. Here's the brutal truth. When a man stops being useful, she stops being loyal. 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Not always because they're miserable, but because they know they can do better or have extracted what they needed. And even in divorce, the man remains the provider. Alimony, child support, asset division. He pays for a life he no longer lives in. The system rewards her exit and punishes his loyalty. It calls him disposable while praising her freedom. The psychological trap. But economic loss is just the beginning. The deeper wound is psychological. Over time, men stop asserting their needs. They go along to keep the peace. They trade honesty for silence. Until one day, they don't recognize themselves. What you're seeing is learned helplessness. When someone is conditioned to believe their needs don't matter, they stop having them. This is the married man. The man with domestic Stockholm syndrome. He loves his cage and defends it. The unseen war. Society doesn't just ignore this, it enforces it. TV, movies, religion, culture, they all celebrate the man who sacrifices, who gives everything and asks for nothing. That's the good man, the family man. But this model isn't partnership. It's servitude with better marketing. And what do we call men who reject this? Selfish, immature, scared of commitment. The shame keeps them quiet. The myth keeps them compliant. And the truth gets buried under a mountain of cultural conditioning. From strategy to sovereignty, here's what no one tells young men. Love that is based on your utility isn't love. It's a contract. And the man who thinks he can earn devotion by being more giving will die tired and empty. You can't outperform biology. You can only understand it. Modern marriage is not about emotions. It's about leverage. The person with fewer needs and more options has the power. Always. So what's the answer? Become the man who doesn't need the system. Build a life so full, so purpose-driven that partnership becomes optional, not necessary. Women are not attracted to men who center their entire life around them. They say they want sensitivity, but they chase independence. They admire strength more than sacrifice. The man who lives for himself is magnetic. Not because he manipulates, but because he's whole. The less you need them, the more they chase you. The more self-sufficient you become, the more selective you can be. Scarcity is value, and value is attractive. The marriage lie. The marriage system says, be endlessly available. Prove your love through sacrifice. But unlimited availability signals desperation, and desperation repels. True masculinity is not about constant giving. It's about boundaries, mission, purpose. You want respect? Build a life that doesn't revolve around her mood. Live a life where you are the prize, not the supplicant. The male awakening. This isn't about hating women. It's about loving truth. It's about seeing things as they are, not as you're told they should be. Women will always choose what's best for them. You must do the same. Become emotionally sovereign. Stop outsourcing your identity to relationships. Build purpose that doesn't require permission. And love, if you choose it, only from a place of power. Real freedom doesn't begin when she loves you. It begins when you no longer need her to. Most men live their whole lives in quiet sacrifice, thinking it makes them noble. But nobility without boundaries becomes servitude, and love without sovereignty becomes slavery. Choose differently. Choose power. Choose yourself.